Episode 2 of Loki Season 2 has now arrived, and it really made me realize just how wrong I was going into this second season. Because look, I enjoyed the first season, but so far this season, it's just hitting on all the right levels. There's so much to break down today, so let's get into it. What's up everyone, and welcome back to Jones Vibes. Do me a favor and hit that like button if you're a fan of Loki or if you're new to the channel, and let's dive in. So man, episode 2 of Loki Season 2 debuted Thursday night, and I don't really want to say this because I don't want to put it out there and make everybody sad, but we're already 1/3 of the way through Loki Season 2. And there was actually a new report coming out this last week from The Hollywood Reporter regarding a bunch of new changes on the television side of the MCU. They're reportedly planning to step away from their limited series approach, leaning towards multi-season serialized TV. And after Echo, I think we can plan on no more of these 6-episode seasons. And look, you know, with Disney Plus, some of these shorter seasons have been really good, but also some of them just haven't felt quite as fleshed out as they need to be. Specifically for me, I'm talking about Moon Knight. I could have used a little bit more of that, but regardless, this show, Loki, is high quality, and due to the small amount of episodes, it honestly makes it feel a little bit more theatrical, like it's one condensed story. You know, I felt this way a bit in Season 1, but so far in Season 2, I'm really getting the feeling that this is all connected. This is all going somewhere, and that's one of my favorite aspects of the MCU. But I was on a bit of a high, honestly, after last week, because Episode 1 was freaking amazing. And so Episode 2 definitely had some big shoes to fill because of that, but even pushing that aside, I was just very curious to see how they push this story forward. And one of my favorite aspects of this episode was it showed a ton of growth for the character of Loki. And it kind of reminds us of the absolutely insane journey that we've been on with him. I absolutely loved when he was talking to Morbius and he was like, you remember that time that I got so mad at my dad and my brother that I went down to New York and I held the whole city hostage with an alien army? It just made me laugh, man, because it's so true. Like, looking at this character, you can't help but picture him as this big bad villain in the first Avengers movie. Like, I'll always remember the impact that that movie had on me. And so every time I see his character, I'm just like, well, is he the villain though? He's a good guy, so I'm rooting for him now, but gosh, there's just something bad about this guy. But another really important thing that he said is sometimes we let our emotions get the better of us. And it was very important for Morbius to hear that in that moment. There's a lot of character growth in this episode for him as well, just relating to thinking about going and seeing what his life might be like on the sacred timeline. Very curious if that's going to go anywhere. But we did get some classic Loki as well. Like, there's an action shot in the chase scene where there's some holograms and he's doing some mischief. Like, I don't know, it was kind of nostalgic. I just felt watching this like his character has evolved so much. Like, even mixing all of that with the holding cell scene with him and X5 or Brian. Loki really turns that entire interaction around on him and really shows that he's very controlled at this point. He's able to channel his powers and his emotions. Also, on the topic of X5 or Brian, he was really dope in this episode. This actor has really surprised me. I think his name is Rafael Casal, but I very much have enjoyed just the question marks surrounding him. Is he bad, or does he genuinely want to just be an actor on the sacred timeline? Like, I think so far his character has made the biggest impact on me, and we're gonna have to see where all of that goes. He fits right into that camaraderie element of this show. You know, you have Loki and Morbius, and they kind of have this quippy dialogue back and forth, but then we had that scene with X5 and Morbius in McDonald's, and they have the same sort of dynamic. I think it just goes to show that this series as a whole has a very specific and unique vibe, and you can throw different pieces into that vibe, and it all kind of just feels cohesive. It's all working together, but you know, it couldn't work if the plot wasn't phenomenal, and the pruning of these different branches of the timeline was insane. This is where things really took a turn, because General Dox just went like full sail ahead with this plan, and before we knew it, like billions of people died. That's like a major freaking event here, guys. That's like Thanos snap level stuff. It was pretty mind-blowing, and I thought that it was clever that Sylvie doesn't want any part of it, but the emotion of this is kind of a way to rope her back in. You know, in the end, she goes back to her life in Oklahoma and her job at McDonald's, but I don't think she's gonna stay there for very long, because how could you after seeing what's happening? There's this whole McFlurry of events taking place, you see what I did there? But it has to be getting to her after seeing the repercussions of her actions, you know? It certainly has for Loki. All of these branches are pruned and we're seeing all this damage done, but you still feel this elevated threat on top of everything, and that is Kang. The Council of Kangs. War is coming. Like, they're out there, and we know that. And Loki knows that, and Sylvie knows that, and so that's just kind of the scary thing. They're coming for everything. But once again, and I know I mentioned this last episode, I really just love Morbius and Loki. I love how they've basically just become partners. It's like Law and Order MCU. There's such an interesting case to crack here with the absence of Miss Minutes and the fact that she was with He Who Remains, and then also now the locating of Ravonna Renslayer. Like, where is she going to be? And what is she trying to accomplish? Is she searching for Victor Timely? Maybe? There's a lot of drama, and they keep showing some of these little subplots, and so sometimes when things don't seem like they're that serious, I feel like they're going to end up having more of a serious role to play in the end, especially with like OB. It's hilarious with him running around being like, we're all going to die, we're all going to die. But I feel like there is a key to what he's doing. Obviously, he's trying to fix the time loom, but I don't know, it just feels like there's more at play there. The pieces are slowly starting to come together, and I don't know, I'm just very excited to see how they do. Also, I don't know if anybody caught this, but there was a poster of Kingo from Eternals on the wall. They showed it. It was just fun to see, because that is easily the most underrated MCU film. I will rest on that hill, and I was just so happy to see that they acknowledged the Eternals. But as always, I'm going to go through and watch this episode again just to see if there are any Easter eggs that I didn't catch. Maybe you caught some? Please let me know if you did, because this episode was an absolute blast, but there was a lot going on that I probably didn't catch. But Loki continues to impress, and I'm happy that I was wrong in thinking that this might just be another casual MCU show, because so far it has me absolutely roped in. But what did you guys think? Are you a fan of this show so far? Are you not? Please let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments. I would really love to hear from you. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. That one like means more than you guys know. Also, feel free to reach out to me on X at Jones Vibes Only. Subscribe and keep up the good vibes, guys. But the Loki train just keeps on rolling, and now seems like a good time for some key lime pie.